The Awakened Radio Network is thrilled to announce our brand new magazine, Thrive, Evolutionary Consciousness. The first edition will go out May 20th, and we are interested in your articles, your artwork. If you'd like to be included in what we're doing, reaching the world with a message of hope and change and love and personal empowerment, inspiration, information, and motivation, then visit our website, awakenedradio.net. Look up at the top where it says Thrive, Evolutionary Consciousness. The details and guidelines for writing and submitting articles and artwork are there for you. We also have a group on Facebook, Thrive. It's the Thrive Magazine. Or just look for Awakened Radio on Facebook, facebook.com/Awakened Radio. And you'll find the information there to request being a member of our group. The group is just for all of the contributors of the magazine to take part. And I've got breaking news. I am thrilled and delighted and doing the dance of joy to announce that my hero, Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney, has agreed to allow us to include a copy of her speech that she just presented to the United Nations in our first magazine. We are rocking and rolling. We're changing the world. We're doing it on purpose because we are remembering who we are. Join us. Join everything that the Awakened Radio Network is doing. Visit us at awakenedradio.net. I love you. Peace.
Hello and welcome to Evolutionary Women Radio Show with Pernilla Lillerose, where authentic feminine power is making a difference. To this beautiful Tuesday, and this is your host. I'm your host, Pernilla Lillerose, and as you know, I love being here with you because I love sharing this message of women standing for love, women getting into their true power, and women really becoming authentic and real and taking back our power, not as a power over like the old paradigm has been, where the only way we think we can feel empowered is when we have power over somebody else. That's all from the old. And truthfully, I'm done with that. I am tired of it. It has never worked for what I want. It probably did back then. You know, feeling better than, feeling worse than, power over, power under. That was a game we played for a long time. And you know what? The game is over. We can start a new game. And I think the central point of this new game is love and care and support, where we really do things together because we want to create a beautiful world. How many of us really feel that movement right now? Simply moving out of an old structure that is done, finished, over, dead. And maybe there is still an odor left, and that odor may be more than an odor still, because wherever we look, we can still see that the old structures are in place. But the bottom line is that the core, the power, the structure of these things that have been in place, they're crumbling. And we're seeing it happening everywhere. And it is pretty messy. You know, when an old system crumbles, everything is falling apart. And it can be pretty messy, as you may have noticed. So welcome to Evolutionary Women Radio. We're going to talk some more about that today. just want to let you know that Evolutionary Women Radio is brought to you by Women Standing for Love. And if you would like to connect with me today during the call, either on Skype or on the phone, you're very, very welcome. I'd love to connect with you. That's the whole point of me being here. That I'm not just doing it all on my own. I want to reach out in the world and connect with as many people as possible who resonate with this message of love, this message of the new paradigm, where we are in a place where we need to create everything from scratch. And that takes all of us, absolutely all of us. So if you would like to connect in the chat room, I would love just to see a hello from you or a little love from you, a little encouragement. And you can find that at awakenedradio.net/live chat room. That's where you can connect and share yourself. And it's a safe place. Don't worry about any weird things happening there. You can share yourself safely. And if you want to, you can just go in anonymously. That sometimes feels more safe in the beginning, and that's okay. And you can also call in. That number is 334-649-7204. And that's, of course, if you are in the United States, because I know there's also people here from all over the world. And I think it's so much fun that a message like this can reach so far today. You know, the internet is just amazing, where we really can connect in ways we couldn't do just a few years ago. But what I really think is important when I talk about connection is that we don't just connect superficially, that we really start connecting more deeply from a really felt sense in the body, in our heart. And it's wonderful that we can go on Facebook, for instance, and we can share our messages, and we can just click a link that says like, right? And then it's kind of like connect. And it is a support, of course, of that Facebook page if you are doing Facebook. But there's more to it. Just clicking like is not going to change the world. And just saying this is great is not going to change the world. I really appreciate everybody's likes. I really, really do, because that is a way we connect. So I'm not saying I don't want you to do that, because I want you to keep liking the Facebook pages and keep sharing yourself. But I would love some more sharing of what's in your heart, what you want to do in the world, and what stops you, what holds you back. That seems to be the place where most of us get stuck, that we still have a number of old paradigm beliefs, and we probably have plenty of them. I can still find them in myself. But for the most part, I can see them, and then I have a choice to engage with them or not. So it's not that we have to be completely free from all these beliefs. That's all happening. But we can certainly start seeing them and then making a choice whether we want to believe them, indulge in them, even argue with them. I mean, we get into these things in our heads that are not making any difference. We just get stuck in the rut of the mind. And it's very dense and heavy and contracted in there, very limited. So we want to start moving away from that. But the first part, of course, is that we are aware of what we're doing, what the mind is telling us. But that is the place that holds most of us back in going into the heart and start listening and trusting what your heart is saying. I put out my newsletter every week, and the title this week is, What If We All Love Each Other? And I know that that's what we want at the core of our being, because we already are love.
and I want to keep reminding everyone, including myself, we already are love. But because we've been going through a lot of things in life, this love has been covered with all kind of nonsense. It's all kind of beliefs, that we don't deserve it, that others don't deserve it, that life is unsafe, that you can't trust anybody, that you can't trust God. We all have these beliefs in one way or another, and in one thickness of another or another. We all have these layers, and some are thicker than others. So they may appear to be a little more sticky, but truthfully, they're not real. They're not true. When you already are love, and when everything is love, it's not about deserving it or making yourself worthy of it. It's nonsense. It's simply nonsense. The truth is, you are love. You are lovable. You're loved. In order to experience that, we need to bring that awareness to ourselves every day to help dissolve the barriers that stop us from experiencing that. And the way I have been doing it with myself and still do, and the way I teach it to my clients, my students, is to take on a practice every day where you sit down and you feel loved. You feel loved. So when I said just a moment ago, what if we all love each other? Until we really feel loved inside, it's really difficult. It's very difficult to love each other because we block the love that we are when we don't feel loved. The moment that you feel loved, and I'm talking about a deep feeling where your body is pulsating with love, then that love will naturally and organically and effortlessly move out and touch your surroundings, actually touch the whole world, because whatever we do, feel, think is affecting the whole. So learning to feel loved is essential. And even though it wasn't my intention today, but that's how it often goes when I sit down and open my mouth here and something else suddenly starts happening. So since I started talking about that, the importance of feeling loved, let me go into that a little more. When we grow up and have parents or caretakers who may love us, I don't doubt that our parents love us. There might be some examples where they don't, and that's probably true, but I think generally we can say that our parents love us, and they love us the best way they can, depending on their upbringing, depending on their conditioning, depending on how they felt loved when they were little, and then all the things they went through in their lifetime. So from that place, I would say, yeah, they loved us. They loved you. But from your point of view, from my point of view, we may not have felt that. So somebody may love you, but if you don't feel that, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good, as in how it transforms your being. So let's say your parents love you, but the way they love you is done, maybe they're very busy or they're very preoccupied with their own problems, with their finances, with their relationship between themselves. So that when they love you, it doesn't come out in a way where you can fully relax into the feeling, into the knowing that you are loved. So when it has to be a feeling that's invoked inside of you, inside of me, where when they love us, we can just relax. It's like we can let go of all the holding, all the things we need to do in order to be loved, be valued, anything like that. It's a feeling that we feel. And I think there's hardly anything that feels better than really feeling loved. For some of you, you may have a very strong connection with the divine, or with an expression of the divine that is manifested as some kind of a spiritual icon in the world. And if you have that kind of connection, you will probably have that feeling of feeling loved. And when you do, you may notice that your heart opens up. You feel a warmth coursing through your whole body. Any tension you may be holding just melts. And it's wonderful. I would think that that's what we all want at the core. Really feeling loved. And when we do, we are just different. When we feel loved and walk through the world, feeling loved, with a feeling inside that we are loved, everybody will feel it. And that's how we actually have a very strong impact on the world, just by feeling loved. So how do you do that? That's a very good question. You might be wondering, well, that sounds great, Pernilla, but I don't know how to do that. And I didn't know how to do that either. So I had to take it on as a practice. And I know that my parents loved me and love me. I know that. But I couldn't feel it when I grew up. I always felt like I needed to be different. I needed to do something. I needed to be very smart. I needed to be successful. All these things, because that's where I felt I got the feedback that I was loved. I would get good feedback. So it trained me to believe that I needed to do certain things or be certain things. Definitely be different than I would just be if I was just myself. So I started building all these strategies and ways of managing in the world, like most of us have. Well, let's say like all of us have, because we're not really that different, except if you had parents that really made you feel loved, so that there was no doubt in your mind that you didn't need to be different than you are right now, that just being you is enough, and it's beautiful. So for all of us, which is probably 90, maybe 95, 99%, we did not grow up with that. But that doesn't mean that there isn't hope. It means that there is a lot of hope. We just need to learn how to do that. So the way I have done it in the past is I would start imagining what it would feel like to be loved. And it took me a while. I would try different people on, or different deities, different spiritual masters, different situations, and just imagining what it feels like to be loved. And even though it took me a while, little by little, when I kept practicing this, it became a daily practice for me, because I knew there was something very important in this. So every morning I would just, before I would get out of bed, I would do some kind of a practice or imagination. If you can't feel it, it's perfectly okay to imagine it. And then little by little, I started feeling a little more this feeling of feeling loved. And I keep saying feeling because I want you to understand that it is a feeling. And the moment you feel it, you feel so good. Now, of course, eventually we need to learn to love ourselves completely like that. But not everybody can just do that. In the same way, when I say, what if we all love each other? I could say, what if we all love ourselves? But it isn't that easy. It would be so easy if that was enough. And if we knew how to, the world would change overnight. Truly, all the people who are out there, in the war, fighting, doing all kind of weird things in the world, if they really would feel loved, they wouldn't do it. It's simply, there is no room for that in the feeling of love. Feeling loved. So why don't we take a moment right now and just let's do a little imagining here. If you can't just feel loved, if you already are feeling loved, then I totally celebrate you. I think it's wonderful, and that will make it so much easier to bring this love into the world in basically anything you do. But then there's so many of us who didn't grow up with that, and we need to learn it. So let's just imagine for a moment. See if you can come up with a situation, and you can use your fantasy or imagination as wildly as you need to, because the goal is for you to connect with a feeling inside of yourself. Once you have that, eventually you will be able to let go of the image or the fantasy you're creating, because that's just something that happens in the mind. But if that fantasy can help you connect to the feeling of being loved or the feeling of feeling loved, then it has served a major purpose. So let's just imagine something. It can be anything. It could be the most amazing lover that walks into your life, the perfect soulmate who loves you exactly the way you have been longing for. And I think at the core, we all know how we want to be loved. We know it. But because we didn't get it when we grew up, and because we didn't get it in our relationships, we have cut it off. We have cut off that longing in our heart that knows how we want to be loved. What would feel so good? It could be something like, it could be a word that somebody says to you. It could be a sentence. It could be a way that somebody looks into your eyes. It could be being held, just very lovingly and respectfully, where you don't have to be any different than you are. This is the fantasy that I want to invite you to play with a little bit. Start finding what that would feel like for you. Maybe it's just sitting in nature, because in nature it's safe. And the trees and the plants and the flowers, they don't harm you. So if nature is the place where you want to go to feel loved, just imagine that. Or if you want to imagine that you had different parents than when you grew up, because sometimes it's difficult to imagine our parents loving us in the way we want them to, when they didn't. It's very hard to make that shift in our mind. So just imagine if you had different parents. Think of somebody in the world, create your own set of parents. It could be, a spiritual teacher that you really, really respect and highly, highly value. Or it could be an actor or an actress that has played some roles that made you feel, oh my God, if I had a dad like that, or if I had a mom like that, my life would be different. So I just want to really invite you to Imagine whatever you need to do in order to feel loved. Anything goes as long as it brings you to the feeling of feeling loved. So let's just take a moment and let yourself go there. What would this person or these people say to you? What would you love to hear? Maybe you've been longing for this your whole life. Maybe somebody who would say to you, sweetheart, you don't need to be any different than you are. I love you exactly the way you are. And just take that in for a moment if those words resonate with you. And just in case, if you have a lot of resistance coming up, where your mind comes to say, you can never have that, that's impossible, because the mind will probably do that. Just let that all come up. What we're doing here is we're opening up your beingness and we're dropping in a light bulb of love, a love bulb. And when we bring this light in, all the darkness that has kept you away from this light will have to come up. So if you have all these thoughts and images and, why you couldn't have that, just to the best of your ability, allow them to pass through you. You don't need to engage with them, and you certainly don't need to believe them. It's just as if you're bringing light into your being so you can see all the little gremlings, all the little scared parts in you that thought you were not lovable because you were not loved the way you wanted to be loved when you grew up. So we want to make sure that we bring light to all these little gremlings. They're okay. They're not bad or wrong. They were just never loved. That's all. That's all that darkness is. It's a lack of light. It's a lack of love. And that's why when you can imagine something that gives you the feeling of feeling loved, that is how you bring light to the darkness. It may seem very simple, and in one way it is, but to keep doing this and making this a daily practice where you keep bringing love to the parts that don't know that they're loved, where you keep bringing light to the places of darkness inside of you that are longing to be loved. And there's a lot of parts in us, in all of us. And when we start bringing that love to those parts, by using our imagination to connect with the feeling, so this is not a mental conceptual exercise. It may start mentally by imagining, but we want to get the image so beautiful that we feel it. And then we can actually start letting go of the image itself and stay with the feeling and allowing the feeling to grow inside of us. So let's just take a moment here. We're going to go on a break in just a moment. So I want to just invite you to stay with that feeling the best way you can. And then if you want to, please share yourself. You can call in or chat in. I would love to hear how that is for you. So we're just going to go on a short break now, and we will talk in just a few moments.
Self-help, self-empowerment, learning to love yourself, UFOs, ancient alien technology, chemtrails, GMO, environmental changes, all of this and more at Awakened Radio Network. Join us, awakenedradio.net, your online radio station, making a difference globally. Hello, I'm Donna Devane, station owner here at Awakened Radio Network, and I wanted to take a few moments to answer some questions that I've received from listeners. One is, how can I support the Awakened Radio Network? Well, one of the easiest ways for you to do that is to visit our website at awakenedradio.net and check out our online store. We have stones and crystals, jewelry, medicine bags, dream catchers, coaching sessions with a few of our hosts in there, autographed copies of both of my books, lots of things that can help you on your journey and celebration of your life. Also, we do have donate buttons throughout the website. When you make a donation to the Awakened Radio station, you are saying, kudos, I love you, thank you for what you're doing, keep doing it. And you help us to stay on the air and to expand our operation. A lot of times we're asked, well, how much do I donate? That is entirely up to you. Listen to your heart. I've told people over the years, I don't want your power money. I don't want your grocery money. Share from your heart. The Awakened Radio Network is built upon the foundation of co-creating, all of us working together. We don't take grant money. We don't have corporate money. We are self-supported by our hosts, by some of our sponsors, our small businesses who sponsor us, and by ourselves and listeners like you. There's no amount too small or too large for that matter. If you love what we're doing and you'd like to see us expand, then shop in our store, make a donation, or perhaps you'd like to host your own show. All that information is on our website at awakenedradio.net. If you'd like to contact me for questions, do so. Send me an email at awakenedradio@gmail.com, or you can add Awakened Radio to your Skype contact. Don't just call, because you may call in the middle of the show. Send me a text message there, and I'll get right back with you to have a conversation and answer your questions. Know this, Awakened Radio is about you. We are here because we care. We stand by and we live the messages that we present to you here on the airwaves. We are about information, inspiration, and motivation for those who are changing their lives. Peace.
Welcome back to Evolutionary Women Radio, where authentic feminine power is making a difference in the world. Thank you for joining and listening. This is your host, Pernilla Little-Rose, and this show is brought to you by Women Standing for Love. Welcome back. Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little meditation we did, and that you are beginning to feel what that feeling is. It may just be a little tiny spark in your belly or in your heart, anywhere. Or you may just notice that there is a part of you that starts to relax a little bit. They say that that love is really the only true healer. And this feeling, that is the healer. It's the feeling of feeling loved that heals everything. If we love somebody and they cannot feel it, it really doesn't do them a whole lot of good. Now, it could be that they have a strong barrier to being loved. I think we all have that too. And of course, we need to break that down ourselves. But we can't always do it ourselves. Oftentimes we need an outside mirror of this love if we didn't have it when we grew up. So let's make use of our little imaging, where we simply imagine having the perfect parents when we grew up.
and imagine that you have the perfect, relationship that you're in, where you are being loved the way you want to be loved, the way you can feel it. And so the goal itself is not self-love. Sometimes, there are teachings out there where it feels like self-love is the goal itself. In my experience, self-love is the means to realize that you are love. It's the means to break down and dissolve all those layers that have prevented you from realizing that you are love. So I'm getting this image right now. It's like inside of your being, inside of your heart, you already are love. And then there's all these layers outside of it that tells you you're not lovable, you have to work for it, you don't deserve it, all the beliefs that we all carry. And that prevents us from feeling loved, that love that we already are. And then either an image where you imagine something, where you actually are loved the way you know you want to be loved, because we all have that inside of us, that can penetrate all these layers and go right into your heart, right into your love. And that's why it's like you're being activated. This image is meant to activate your love inside of you. And it can also happen, excuse me, it can also happen if there is a person, a teacher, a guru, a therapist, a coach, somebody who really knows how to penetrate those layers so that you can connect with your own love. So either an outside person can penetrate these layers that are surrounding your heart, only for you to feel your own love. It's always your own love that you feel. It may be that somebody helps activate that or helps you reconnect with that, but it is your own love. If you ever feel love, it can only be because you're experiencing your own already existing love. You cannot experience anybody else's love because there is only one love, and you are that. I am that. So when we feel loved, we're finally sinking in to our own truth, into our own essence. So let's just take a breath into that for a moment, right into your own heart, allowing yourself to connect with that for a moment. Right inside of you, whether you use an image or a real person, if it helps you feel loved, you're in good hands. But what you need to do then is to not hold on to the person or hold on to the image. You may need to hold on to it for a while, but the goal is for you to let that go and then bounce back into your own heart, into your own love, so that you're not dependent on somebody outside of you to feel loved. Because if you are dependent or make yourself dependent or feel dependent on some outside source, you are not in touch with your own love yet. So by all means, use whatever you need to help you get in touch with your own love, to help you feel loved. You see, I'm saying it over and over. It's the feeling of feeling loved that is being ignited inside of you. And the more often you are able to do that, or I should say, the more often you are willing to take the time or make a practice out of that daily by sitting down, do a little meditation where you don't just go to the stillness, where you actually are actively helping dissolve the layers that tell you that you are not loved, that you're not lovable, and that you're not loved. Those layers are lies. They're not true. So they need a dose of truth, which is love, and any kind of imagination or fantasy that helps you connect back to your feeling loved. Bingo, you got a winner. And now you just need to put that into practice on a very regular basis. Specifically, if you're going through hardships, if you're going through some hard times in your life, that's when you need it even more. And it may even be harder to do it then, but that just tells you that now is when I need it more than anything. So just sit down and you just imagine, if I had the right parents who really could make me feel loved, what would they be saying to me? What would feel really good to hear? What would help dissolve this tightness in my gut that makes me believe that I'm unworthy or unlovable? What if I had the parents who really knew how to convey the truth to me that I am lovable? Because of course that is the truth. How can we not be lovable if the essence of who we are is love? Let's take another breath into that, just into the knowing or into the possibility that it is true that you are lovable, that you can feel loved, because that's your essence, that's at the core. And the more you are able to feel loved, there is a natural process that happens, and I'm speaking from my own experience here. The more I feel loved inside, if I start every morning spending a little time in my meditation to invoke the feeling of feeling loved, my day is different because I walk around in this frequency of love. And when I am love, it's very effortless to love others. It's not something I do. It's something I am. And it's effortless. Does that mean I'm perfect at it all the time? Absolutely not. But I'm getting better and better at it every single day. And it feels more and more effortless to just be love and to express that in whatever I do. But there are times where I don't, or I forget, or, maybe I'm really tired or something, and that takes over a little bit, or something can happen. But that's okay. I'm not talking about perfection. We're talking about we're moving from an old paradigm into a new. And all the stuff that has held us back from loving ourselves, from loving others in the old paradigm is something that we need to either leave behind or bring light to, bring love to. And the more we bring love to that by loving, feeling loved inside, the easier it's going to be to move into the new paradigm. And then you will find ways to share that love. You'll start feeling inspired to do something in the world to make a difference. So it always comes back to this, that we really feel loved inside. And in my new movement called Women Standing for Love, which you can find more about at www.womenstandingforlove.com, or you can go to the Facebook page, which is Women Standing for Love. So that's very easy to find. You can read more about what actually is going on there, what it stands for. And I just want to share with you the 3 pillars that Women Standing for Love is supported by or is standing on. The first one is that you need to stand for love in yourself and in your own life first. If you know that you want to make a difference in the world, and if you know that you know something, there's something in your heart that knows that things can be different in the world. When you first stand for love in yourself, it's going to be so much more effortless to take the steps to bring it into the world, this vision, this new vision of a new paradigm. So it always starts with that. Stand for love in yourself and your own life first. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar is you actively create a circle of your vision or of your cause, or you actively join an existing circle of your vision or cause. So when you really stand for love in yourself, that means that you are willing and able to listen to what truly matters to you. You respect yourself. You respect what your heart knows. And so instead of dismissing it and contracting around it and pushing it away, now because you stand for love, because you feel loved inside, then you're able to move along as this love wants to move into the world. And that's when you will find some kind of a vision, some kind of a cause or a purpose. You might see something in the world that may even feel like a heartbreak to you, or you may feel inspired by some cause in the world. So it could be a heartbreak, and it can be a huge divine inspiration that moves you to take certain action in the world, that moves you to make a difference in the world in this particular area. And that's what I call, that's your vision or your cause. So the more you connect with the love inside of yourself, you will naturally connect with something that you would like to make a difference in the world with. And it can be something very, very small. It might just be go out in your garden and make it really, really beautiful. Something that you want to beautify an area on the planet. And it could be your own backyard. Maybe you will start growing vegetables. Something where things start growing out of love. If that's your vision, then that is your vision. Don't argue with that, or don't think it should be different. If that's what you find right now, then go with that, follow that, and trust it. And in that, start connecting with others who have that same vision. Because, when you're alone with your vision, it's so easy to be overwhelmed by it. It's so easy when we are isolated to just succumb to the inertia and the overwhelm, and then we don't do anything. But when we are together, when you connect and connect with other people who have the same vision, you'll feel much more inspired to take action. And then it's going to be easier. Maybe your neighbor has the same vision. I'm just coming up with an example. And maybe you talk about it, and then you can help each other beautify each other's gardens. So it's easier. The work is going to be easier because you can maybe do things that are too heavy for you to do on your own. So suddenly you have a friend there who will do it with you. And suddenly you have two beautiful gardens instead of whatever was there before. You see, that's when you connect with others and you start working together, you start collaborating, start inspiring each other, and you really support each other in getting the vision, make the vision real. So the third pillar of Women Standing for Love says that you collaborate, support, and inspire each other. You keep the vision of the circle or the vision of your little group. You keep that at the focal point, and you learn to stand for this cause no matter what. So that means that if and when you connect with other like-visioned souls, you get into little groups, and these groups can be 3, 4, 5, maybe up to 8, 10, something not too big, maybe 8, something like that. And you meet regularly to support each other, to make the vision come true. What happens also when you are in these kind of circles is that you help each other, you help holding each other accountable to the vision, because the mind is so conditioned to tell you that it's too much or you can't do it or whatever it wants to tell you. And if you are on your own, it's so much easier just to contract back into inertia and overwhelm and not do anything about it. But when you are really committed to a group, and this commitment is really something, you're committing to something that's important to you, something you really want. And then you find a group of people who want to support you in that. That's when really true magic can happen. I have shared with you before that I'm in several groups like that, and I'm actually getting in more and more little groups that we meet regularly, same, different purposes. But as I'm expanding my vision, I keep meeting new people who have the same vision because I share mine. I'm not holding it back anymore. Trust me, I did. I thought, who would want this and who am I to have such a big vision? But now I just share it, and I am amazed how many people have the exact same vision and the energy, the motivation to do something about it. So that's what I want in my life. I want to be surrounded by people who want the same as I, who want to create something beautiful on the planet. And in my vision, we want to start here in my community where I live. So there's a number of people, and the circle is beginning to grow. There was actually somebody in there who decided to move away and do their own thing. So we send them off with love. That's fine. Then I just keep staying open to somebody who wants the same. And right away, I met a number of new people who seemed like, perfect resonance. But you see, it starts, so those are the 3 pillars, right? But it starts inside of my own heart. And if I'm not fully connected to my own heart and do whatever I can to feel loved in who I am, even in my imperfections, there's no perfection here. It's just loving all of myself, even if I'm not perfect. Because if I imagine to have the most perfect parents who love me the way I want to be loved, then of course they will also love me if I'm not perfect in my own mind, whatever that means. So there was a phase where I was imagining having these perfect parents, and I chose some images in the world, some people in the world that I felt a deep resonance with, and that felt like, oh my God, if I had had a dad like that, or if I had had a mom like that, then I would feel loved. So it's important to understand then when we do these imaginings that it's not about making our parents wrong. It's very important. It's not about, you didn't do a good job. They did a fantastic job. They did the absolute best they could. And now it's up to me to take the next step. They helped me survive physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, in so many areas. But there's one piece that was missing for me, and then I can do whatever I need to do to make myself feel more whole. And in this case, it's been really getting to the place where I feel loved. And the more I feel loved, the more I connect with the right people, and then my vision from my heart can start expanding and growing and becoming real. It will be the exact same for you. So I want to encourage you to listen to your beautiful heart and take some time every day. I do it every morning still. Sometimes it's just because it feels so good just to sit there and just indulge in the feeling of feeling loved. It fills up my being. It's really beautiful. So please take this on as a practice and see what can happen. Take 5-10 minutes or more if you have the time. You might enjoy it so much that you want to sit there for half an hour and just feel loved, whether it's imaginary parents, an imaginary partner, or, the divine itself, or an image of the divine. Or you're a pet, many times pets are wonderful companions that make us feel loved because their love is so unconditional. So if you need to use a pet as an image or a real pet, you may have the perfect pet that will really make you feel it. Give yourself permission to feel it and to take the time to let that feeling of feeling loved penetrate every area inside of you that hasn't felt loved yet. And trust me, there's many layers. I'm speaking from my own experience, and I still have layers, so that's why I still take the time to let the love penetrate any area that does not feel loved. So my friends, it's so funny how I had not planned on talking about this today, and I really love how that happens because it's getting out of the mind. Sometimes we have an idea about how things will look or how we want them to unfold. And then, at least in my experience, when I start something, it comes out completely different. And I really enjoy that because then I know I'm just in alignment with my soul and I just follow it. And it feels good when I talk about feeling loved. It comes with a beautiful energy of inspiration and joy and love. So then I know I'm in alignment with my soul, and that's really all I want. So today we've been spending a little time really getting to the core of the feeling, and I want to invite you and encourage you to take time to do that every day. It will help you in all areas of your life. Your body is going to love you for it. It's going to help you relax. It's going to help your nervous system relax. Tension starts melting away. But make it a daily practice. Really try it on for a while. Try it on for a month and see what happens. Nothing is going to be lost, that's for sure. Now, if you would like to know a little more about the other things that I do on this planet, I want to encourage you to go to my website or one of them. You can start at lillarose.com, which is spelled LILLAROSE.com. And here you can read a little more. I have my radio show on there. There's a link for that. And there's a link for Women Standing for Love, which I really hope you will join me in because that's where the juice of my work is right now, to help women get together, share their heart, share their vision, and support each other in making it all come true. So my friends, I look forward to being here with you again in a week. And in the meantime, I wish you so much love, and I wish you the feeling of feeling loved. Many blessings to you all. Thank you.